Have you ever watched a movie or a TV show and suddenly found yourself crying without really knowing why? Or felt strangely close to a character as if they were reflecting something deeply personal about you or someone in your life? Maybe you've even discovered your ideals, your dreams, or your desired future inside the story on the screen. Movies and TV shows are far more than just entertainment. Whether we're aware of it or not, they have a deep psychological impact on us. They activate internal emotion and mental processes that if we understand them, we can actually use in very positive ways. In this video, I want to explore how movies and series affect us psychologically and how we can use the magic of cinema not just to feel something, but to support self-development and mental well-being. There's a very famous therapy scene in cinema history, a scene many of us have cried over. But why? The file that Robin Williams is holding in that scene, it's not about us. Our names aren't in it. He's not literally telling us it's not your fault. So why does it hit so hard? Why do we feel like we're sitting in that room crying alongside Will? Because all of us, like Will, carry suppressed emotions, feelings that have been waiting for the smallest trigger to finally come out. That scene, that movie, creates a safe emotional space for those suppressed emotions to surface. This is one of the most powerful things movies and TV series can do for us. They give our emotions permission to rise. Sometimes you watch a movie and don't even know why, but afterwards, you feel lighter. Before the movie, maybe your mood was heavy, tense, or flat. Afterward, something has shifted. This isn't just entertainment. When we watch a movie, we experience different characters in different situations, each carrying its own emotional tone. Our emotions move up and down with the story, and something inside us is released, almost like emotional pressure being let out through a valve. And that release reduces the psychological weight we've been carrying. Of course, this process isn't always comfortable. Sometimes movies ambush us emotionally. We might be running from a feeling or a topic, trying not to look at it too closely, and suddenly, there it is, right in front of us on the screen. Maybe you've gone through a breakup. You tell yourself, I'm fine, I don't care, it doesn't matter anymore. You're deep in denial. Then you sit down to watch a movie, and suddenly the story feels too familiar. Something clicks, a door opens, and all those emotions you've been avoiding come flooding out. In the end, though, one of the most important psychological effects of movies and TV series is exactly this. It creates an emotional space for release and sometimes even processing. The second major effect is identification. Movies are stories with characters, and those characters allow us to see ourselves or parts of ourselves reflected back. Take Monica from Friends. For many people, she's deeply relatable, organized, obsessive, perfectionist, sometimes overwhelming for others, sometimes hard to tolerate. Or take Marriage Story, a movie about separation and divorce that resonated deeply with people who had lived through similar experiences. Two people who once loved each other and slowly became strangers, even enemies, without either one being entirely at fault. A story many relationships have lived through. These characters and stories matter for two big reasons. First, they remind us that we are not alone. So often, in our own minds, we tell ourselves, why does this only happen to me? I'm just unlucky. I inherited all the worst traits in the world. Seeing characters like us remind us, this is human. Others experience this too. And that realization brings relief. After all, every character we see on the screen comes from somewhere, from a mind, from an inspiration, often from real human stories. Second, Movies give us new perspectives. When we're trapped inside our own problems, our own thoughts, our own pain, our vision narrows. We develop tunnel vision. The longer we stay stuck, the tighter that tunnel becomes. Especially when stories feel close to real life, movies help us do something powerful. They turn a two-dimensional story into a three-dimensional one. They allow us to rotate the narrative, to see another angle, to imagine a different meaning or even a different ending. This is incredibly valuable because when we turn to people in real life, we often face advice, judgment, or criticism, even when it's well-intentioned. And when we're stuck, we usually don't want to hear it. We isolate ourselves instead. Movies, however, gently offer new perspectives without judgment, and that makes them psychologically powerful. The third effect is learning, especially observational learning. Psychologist Albert Bandura showed that much of what we learn, both as children and adults, comes from observing others. Imagine someone who's never used a fork before. They sit at a table, watch the person next to them, and learn simply by observing. Movies and TV shows function the same way. They present the stories and behaviors that we can learn from without being lectured. If you took the same story and turned it into a self-help lecture, it will feel condescending. But when it's embedded in a narrative, when emotions are involved, learning happens naturally. Observational learning is often far more powerful than verbal instruction. Children don't stop swearing because they're told not to. They stop when their parents stop. We imitate what we see. And movies and series are full of behaviors, choices, and consequences that quietly teach us. And finally, there's enjoyment. Yes, movies are more than entertainment, but that doesn't mean entertainment isn't important. For psychological health, we need pleasure, we need rest, we need joy. For most of us, movies and TV shows are a source of genuine enjoyment, a way to recharge our mental batteries so we can return to life with more energy. For all these reasons and many more, movies and series can play a powerful role in mental health and personal growth. If you're interested in psychological and psychoanalytic film analysis, consider subscribing. And if there's a movie or a topic you'd like me to explore, let me know in the comments.